Aniwa Gathering is a non-profit event bringing together 40 of the world's most respected Indigenous leaders to share their wisdom, exchange culture, and join in sacred ceremonies. It is estimated that there are more than 370 million Indigenous people spread across 70 countries worldwide. Indigenous communities are historically some of the most oppressed in the world, bearing the brunt of brutal colonialism for centuries and dealing with its lasting impact. Despite all odds, many Indigenous communities continue to live together and practice their traditions to this day. Throughout my journey exploring spirituality, I've only scratched the surface of learning about Indigenous wisdom, but every experience I've had so far has had a lasting impact on me. So I'm going to attend the Aniwa Gathering this year to absorb the teachings from some of the most respected Indigenous leaders throughout the world, and by the end of this video, I will be sharing 3 key lessons that I learned. Right now, I'm driving into the mountains, into Big Bear. It's absolutely beautiful. There's nature all around me. There's mountains surrounding me. As a white person entering into this space, I really want to be respectful. I want to make sure that I'm really honoring these cultures and traditions and the elders. The Boa Foundation is organizing this, so also I hope that this can bring more awareness to that organization. I've added a link in the video description to everything, so you can go and check it out and support if you feel called to. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. I just arrived. I already feel such a powerful energy here. I just have like a really strong feeling being here. And so we're gonna go to the site and see what's going on.
Good evening, relatives. Thank you all for coming here. My name is Rudy Randa. I'm the co-founder of Aniwa. And first and foremost, of course, I want to give thanks to the Great Spirit for being the great magnet that brought us here all together safely so that we may come together and pray, heal.
Aniwa is a gathering bringing together 40 Indigenous elders from cultures all around the world. This is a time of prophecy according to the elders, and so this gathering is meant to touch people's hearts, to open this energy of unconditional love, first towards ourselves, our communities, and then towards the earth, the waters, all the elements that give us life. We're here to say thank you. We're able to open these gates inside of us, ignite our spirits, and be stronger spiritually in order to fight a war with love. It's really a message of that it doesn't matter where we come from. We're all children of Creator. We are all manifestations of the divine. A message here is of unity, is of peace, is to be able to acknowledge every human being as our brother, our sister. So we're here to create the story that we want to tell from now on.
El permiso del Creador y Formador de la vida, damos las buenas tardes a este espacio sagrado, a nuestra ofrenda ceremonial de la sanación.
This was a Mayan healing ceremony. They cleansed each participant. They blew tobacco, sacred tobacco smoke on them, and copal incense, created a beautiful altar with flowers to calling this healing for everyone to be able to open their hearts. And they say, may there be no thorns in our path. The Mayans, they work with the 20 energies of the Mayan calendar. So they do a count, invoking all of these energies that carry each day. There are 20 days, and each of those days are appropriate for something. Today, the energy was appropriate for healing.
Christine, I'm really excited to talk to you because you actually have Mayan lineage.
Oh, it's so beautiful to be here and have them here, because usually we have to go all the way, to Guatemala to experience these type of ceremonies. So it is truly a blessing. For me, it's really important to connect with my lineage and my ancestral plant medicine, and these fire ceremonies are just like being there on those lands. So they're invoking the ancestors of the Mayan lands here in this beautiful space. So it's truly a gift and an honor to be in that presence.
I found another friend. It's Ian. Ian was just telling me about some of the history of Big Bear, which is blowing my mind.
Big Bear and these mountains were the origination of the gold rush. So a lot of the settlers came here to Big Bear and they were mining for gold. And of course, as we know, the Indigenous were here and it was a lot of battles that took place. So here, particularly in Big Bear, there is a snow quartz mound that is very special and very sacred, and it was very special and sacred to the Serrano Indian people who were the original Indigenous of these lands, and they called it the Eye of God. Just like in the movie Avatar, they wanted to break the spirit of the Indigenous, and they also thought there perhaps might be gold in there, as the story goes. So they blew up this tree of souls for the Serrano people. It was the big snow quartz crystal. It's still a large portion of it left, and that's where I go and I commune with the ancestors there. We've done a lot of work like clearing sadness and anger and pain from the destruction that happened to the people. Many of their energies still reside there.
There's something I really want to touch on right now. These ceremonies are sacred and it's not okay just to film everything. So I'm working within certain boundaries. My goal is to make something that will remind everyone who's watching to connect with Indigenous wisdom, to honor it, to learn from it, and that the video that I make can be awakening to you in some way. They're doing a talk about the coca plant, which is where cocaine actually comes from. But the purest form in the coca plant is like completely different than the drug cocaine. So I'm gonna go check it out.
Cuando decimos en sus múltiples usos o formas de uso de la hoja de coca, como les indicaba, es una de las plantas más completas. A partir de eso, cada elemento de esta planta sirve para cada parte del cuerpo también. Esta experiencia que les estoy compartiendo de haber usado durante mucho tiempo no produce adicción. ¿Por qué? Al usar esta planta en nuestro cuerpo, se produce una profunda alquimia.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to bed because I really want to get up for this workshop tomorrow. It's at like 5 in the morning and it's about how to interpret dreams, and it's a ceremony for dreams. I think that's gonna be really cool, so I'm gonna get to bed and get up bright and early. Good night. As the sun was rising, we gathered for the dreaming ceremony. We drank guayusa, a tea native to the Amazon, as people shared detailed accounts of their dreams, and an elder from the Achuar of Ecuador shared his interpretation of each dream. It was fascinating to listen to everyone's dreams and the insights they gained from the interpretation. After the ceremony, I headed to a morning yoga class led by a leader from the Dogon of West Africa.
Menkbakat means good morning. Welcome to today's workshop. Makes me cringe to say it. Dogon yoga. It only makes me cringe to say it because we don't say that in the temples. What we're going to be doing today, we know as Ka'at Ibi, but we call it Dogon yoga so that you know what it is. What's really important about Ka'at Ibi and keeping the integrity of Ka'at Ibi is remembering the goal. A long time ago, according to our ancestors in the Dogon lands, they made a commitment that they wanted to elevate their spirit. And Ka'at Ibi was a tool in that.
Boa tarde a todos. Quem não me conhece, eu sou Tuincuru, vindo lá da Amazônia, né, da floresta. É muito alegria de estar aqui hoje, apresentando também um jovem, né, Yawanawa, apresentando o meu pai também, Matsini. Nossos cantos a gente aprende dentro da floresta. Vamos fazer uma dieta para sacrificar o corpo para fortalecer o espírito. Dentro disso vamos buscar o entendimento e as palavras e os cantos. Os nossos cantos já foram cantados há muitos tempos atrás já. Os nossos ancestrais, tudo que eles viam, para onde eles iam, eles cantavam cantando. Mas hoje é com muita alegria que a gente vem também trazendo nossos cantos para as pessoas que precisam hoje, né?
A floresta está viva ainda. Estamos aqui para conscientizar e ajudar as pessoas que precisam, com a nossa força, mostrando da nossa forma, que existe ainda a possibilidade de fazer alguma coisa pelo nosso mundo, pela floresta. A gente está aqui disposto também a contribuir e ajudar naquilo que a gente puder.
Camille, my name is Mona Palaka, and I am from the land and home place of my mother, the Havasupai people down at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. And on my father's side, I'm from the Hopi and Tewa Pueblo in northern Arizona. My ancestry is who I am. We are all related. The basic foundations of life, of water, the air, the fire, the earth, all these things that give us life. If we could connect with that in a certain special sacred manner, if there's anything I would want people to hear, it's that.
So Ho'oponopono is not looking at those externalities, but looking at ourselves. Is what is it about me that's allowing me to experience this right now? And what is it that I need to change, oki, to cut out, to erase, that shifts this relationship? What is it about me, the responsibility that I have, the accountability I have not lived up to, that is creating this condition?
My name is Kumu Ramsey Tom. Well, my name is Ramsey Tom. My students call me Kumu. I come from the people of Hawaii, Kanaka Maoli, the Hawaiian people. But I like to think that I come from all who subscribe to aloha and love. So when we talk about unifying, one of the discussions is that let's find common ground. Well, that common ground is our island Earth. It's the same ground, but what connects us is the breath, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink. That's the spirit that runs through all of us. Aloha is a way of being. It's a condition that says, I care for you, you care for me. But to give without expecting anything in return, and always remember that when you receive, never forget to give back.
As I listened to the teachings of so many different cultures, I was struck by the similarities between it all. Although at Aniwa, there were various communities from vastly different parts of the world with very unique customs and traditions, there seemed to be a few core principles that united everyone around a shared mission.
I don't think I can actually put this experience into words. It's something that is just meant to be felt and experienced. There's so much that I could share with you, but I really want to boil it down to 3 main lessons that I've learned. First lesson that I've learned here at Aniwa is to honor our ancestors. It is so important to pay respect and reverence and gratitude to those who came before us, to our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-great-grandparents, to generations back, to learn and seek out that wisdom and to really dive deep into learning the history of who we are as human beings. Second lesson that I've gathered from this weekend is that nature has the answers. The rhythm of nature is the rhythm of life. The elements exist within our body. Whenever you feel lost or depressed or anxious, go into nature, be still, listen, and I almost promise you that you will get some answers and you will get messages that will help guide you on your path. And the last lesson that I've gathered is that we are the medicine. The awakening right now is to spread love. It's to realize that love is healing, that love is the medicine, and that we are love. That's where we come from, that's who we are, and that is the root of the wisdom being shared here. I'm just so grateful for this experience. It is not every day that you get to be surrounded by elders of all different groups and communities from all over the world, and that we get to learn from them. I just scratched the surface, and I have this desire to go even deeper into different Indigenous communities and really absorb and learn and share the wisdom here on this channel. So please like this video if you want to see more videos like this. And I just want to thank you all so much for sharing your time and your energy and your presence with me. And that's it for this episode of Sky Life. I love you all so much, and the adventure continues.